Welcome to the Daily Podcast. My name is Michelle Sinclair, divine healer and spiritual teacher. I do all of my teachings based off of the Christ letters, which led to my own enlightenment. And so today we are going to read from the Christ letters because I love them. Anyways, if you don't have them, or if you do have them, we're around page 74. What is in your minds will create all your experiences. Your sickness, poverty, unhappiness, and despair. By indulging in your fearful thoughts, anxieties, and feelings of hopelessness, you are creating the very conditions you want to rectify. You are doing all these bad things to yourself. Believe in punishment, and punishment is what you will get. Believe in killing and destruction as being the right way to reach God, and that is what you will experience, killing and destruction. What you truly believe is what you get. Therefore, even more blessed are you when you are hungry and thirsty for goodness and for contact with the Father within you, because you will surely be filled up 100 times over. Most blessed are the pure in heart, for such as these have rid themselves of all anger, hatred, vindictiveness, unkindness, envy, hardness of heart, and stand before the world as love made visible. They will know the reality called God, and they will know the reality is the Father within them. The Father is in no special place, but everywhere around you and within everything. You can see the Father's marvelous work. Look around you at the growing things, the wheat, the grass, the flowers, the trees and birds, and every living thing. You will see mysterious and wonderful work of the Father ceaselessly active. It's here that the Father is in perfect control. You can see that there's perfect law and order, growth, development, and eventually the harvest to bless both man and beast and birds. Consider the way a farmer tills his fields and how he will scatter the seed over the earth and cover it over. And he packs up his tools and he goes home, content that eventually, if there's sufficient rain, there will be food for him to feed his children. Many days he sleeps and wakes and does nothing more to his plants. But when he visits them, he will see blades of green pushing through the soil. Later he will return and see the growth of the stalks and leaves. And later on he will see the forming of the seed. And then one day, he will see that the grain is plump and golden and ready for harvest. Meanwhile, all of this growth has taken place without any help from him. The wheat has grown in a marvelous way that he cannot explain. Is it magic? No. It is the work of the Father. The power, loving intelligence throughout the universe which inspires the work and respires through it. It is the activity of the Father which is the intelligent life of the universe. How I have grieved over you who suffer, but you do not need to suffer if you listen to what I have to tell you. But I must warn you that the path leading to the kingdom of heaven is difficult to follow, because it means first you have to deal with yourself. The kingdom of God is within you. You enter the kingdom of God when you realize fully that the Father is active at all times within you. It is a state of mind, of perception, of understanding that the reality behind and within all things visible is the Father and is beautiful and perfect, and that all things which are contrary to beauty, harmony, health, and abundance are the creations of man's wrong thinking. What kind of lives do you plan and form in your minds? So when we go into this, what kind of lives do you plan and form in your minds? What kind of anxieties do you allow yourself to indulge in? Because this is planting seeds that at some point will come up for harvest. And I know it with all my heart that you don't want any of those fearful things to come to you. I know that you don't want any of the places where you envision lack to actually come to fruition and create lack for you, I know that you don't want this. But our minds have been programmed since we were very little. And what a wonderful thing that is, because it has been done for our survival, and it has been done to push us to do the work. So let's say this, you have the perfect life, you live in a kingdom, you have endless money, your parents are sweet and loving, and everything is good and wonderful, and nothing ever happens that causes any kind of suffering in your life. What a wonderful, blessed thing that is. Now, when we step into our reality of the earth here, is that truly beneficial for us? Does it cause any evolvement or any kind of growth? I know for myself, when I look back on my life, and I was just talking to my client this morning about this, saying when you view your life and all the things that you've had to go through, that you got to go through up until this point, it was like if you can look at those things and you can think, wow, man, I really have come a long way. I have really developed myself a long way, and all of it came because I needed help. I needed to heal. I needed to help myself. And the only way that I could help myself was to evolve my thinking, my mind. And so all of these, perceivably bad things, which there is no such thing. I mean, there is, but there isn't. All these perceivably bad things that have happened were truly, actually blessings in my life, because they pushed me to need to heal. I was at a point where I was in just such deep grief and suffering over a loss in my life that I had to heal it. It was like I have no choice. And I knew, and I know, that electromagnetism is real, that reaping and sowing is real, cause and effect, and that what you put out, you get back, right? And you hear this all the time, right? People talking about manifesting. Oh, well, what you focus on, you get. It's true. It's really true. And so I knew, well, I don't want to be focusing on this sadness and this grief, this loss, because I'm just going to be attracting even more of that. But of course, I'm going to give myself grace, and I'm going to allow myself time to go through that, because we're people, we're humans, and we need to. And if we don't allow these feelings to come out, then they get trapped, they get stuck inside of us. And so if we don't, grieve the loss of something, whatever it happens to be, we're going to eat it, we're going to swallow it down, and then we're probably going to put booze all over it, or we're going to put food all over it, or we're going to put sex all over it, or we're going to put drugs all over it. We're going to do some kind of something to cover up that pain that we never got to express. But if you don't get to that point and you catch yourself and you're like, man, I don't want this to turn into that, well, then you go and you take yourself to a place where you're like, I need to deal with this. Now, here's the thing. Many of us know that we need to deal with it, but we do not know how. We might go to a therapist, and this therapist, they don't know. If they're not enlightened, if they haven't experienced what the Christ Letters is talking about, they will lead you astray. I know many people who have come to me that tell me that, oh man, I actually feel worse after I talk to a therapist. And I was like, dude, what is that telling you? Stop going. Get somebody else. Do something. Try something different. When something's happening and it's making you feel worse, yeah, that's not the thing. You shouldn't be doing the thing. But so many people don't know how to fix this, and so this is one of the reasons why I made the Mental Cleanse series, that playlist that I have that has over 40 some videos in it that can help you to deal with this subconscious trauma. Because often, let's say that you're like, okay, well, I know that I don't want to be feeling this way. I know that I'm creating these things in my life that I don't want, and I cannot help it. It is because it is subconscious programming. It is part of your subconscious programming, and this new information that you get that's like, hey, I shouldn't be doing that, that is not part of your programming, because programming actually has to be programmed into our mind. So in order to change that, you need to let go of the old thing and replace it with the new. So how can you let go of the old thing? Well, you can let go of it through the subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind is your imagination mind. It is the mind that appears when your eyes have been closed and you're in a really relaxed state. So it comes up when you're in theta state. So this means that your brain waves are cycling a little bit slower than they normally would. So you're in this state, 2 minutes before you fall asleep at night. You're in the state when you're driving on the highway. You're in the state when you're watching TV. You're in the state when you're reading a good book. You're in the state when you get zoned out. That is theta state. Now that mind, when you have access to that mind, which I did make a video the other day that says, it's a meditation, it's a guided meditation for the first 5 minutes, and then it's just silence after that. That's very helpful, because that will take you into theta state, and then it'll just leave you there so that you can deal with the things. So if you have something and you're like, oh man, I just worry about this or that, or I stress about this or that, or I'm putting pressure on myself about this or that, whatever your thing happens to be, when you take yourself into theta state, put an intention in before you even go in there, before you even do it. Pray. Say, hey, Divine, I'm going to do this thing, and I need you to give me some information. I need to be in the know about why I'm continuing to act in this way. I want you to give me an answer. And then, when you go into that meditation and you expect that you will get an answer, you will get an answer. Now, you will not get one if you go in there and you think, no, I just made that up, I don't know, and you keep questioning yourself and doubting yourself, self-doubt, all that kind of stuff. No. Just put yourself in that state and just see what comes in, because you know what? It's your mind, baby. It's yours. It's only yours. So whatever happens to be popping in there, it's popping in there for a reason. Remember that. It's popping in for a reason. So if you're like, I don't know, maybe it's this, you're right. Whatever your best guess is, because only you know you, like you know you, whatever your best guess is, that's the thing. So let's say that you go in there and you're like, oh man, I can't get over this thing. We'll use heartbreak as an example. Okay, so I can't get over this and I don't know why. Well, take yourself there in that theta state, and then let yourself feel it. Let yourself feel that feeling. Now, when you're sitting there and you're feeling the feeling, then what you're going to do is you're going to set the intention of, hey, I want to go back to the very first time this heartbreak came up, to the very first time that I realized it, to the very first incident around it. Now, this more than likely will not be the incident that you're thinking of. It will more than likely come from something previous. It might even come from something way before you ever had a relationship. This could come back to you being a child when you were 5 years old, and something happening, mom treating you a certain way, dad treating you a certain way, maybe they were fighting, maybe somebody said something to you, maybe I don't know, there's literally a billion possibilities that it could be. But as you go back to that place, what you need to do is perceive that differently. How you're going to do this is step out of it and see yourself from the outside looking in and think, what did I gain from this? What lesson did I learn? Maybe I learned early on that, I don't like not being loved properly. And something inside of me knows that it's not right when I'm not loved properly, and therefore it hurts and causes me pain. And so you could look at that incident and you could say, thank you for teaching me and for showing me that love is the answer and that it is the way. And as soon as you put a different perspective on it, it changes the way that you feel about it. And then you could come up to your current incident, whatever it is, and then when you look at it now, even it will feel different to you. You will say, whew, yeah, wow, I've really learned a lot of things. I've learned a lot of things about myself. I've learned a lot about how how I operate, or how the world works, or whatever it is. When you can look at it and you can see the learning from it, and then you can be thankful for the learning that you got from it, it will change the outcome, because what is in your mind will create all of your experiences, all of them. So if you are holding something in your mind like pain, past pain, it will create future circumstances for you that will be filled with more of this sadness and pain. And my darling, you have a choice. But you don't know that you have a choice until you know that you have a choice. And the despair, or these feelings of hopelessness, or whatever it is that has been filling your mind, you can heal every single one of these things. And the way to do it is to change your perspective. Give it an other perspective. Change it. Change your perspective. Because as you do that, and as you align your perspective with the truth, and the truth will set you free. The truth will set you free. So if you were thinking about something right now, and as you're thinking about it, you're like, you don't feel freedom. You don't feel freedom in it at all. You feel hopeless or despair, whatever it is. That is not truth. It's not the truth. It's your truth because you're believing in it, but it's not the truth. And so when you can shift and you can put your thoughts into divine alignment and realize this is a blessing, this is a gift. What a wonderful blessing, what a wonderful gift this is for me. And when you can do this, well then everything shifts and you will feel as though you have changed something within yourself, and it will be because you have been changed in that moment that your perspective changes. And then, do not go back to those old ways again. Move forward. Once you see the light, keep walking towards it. Don't turn around and be like, no, the light's over there, but I'm just going to turn my back on it and I'm just going to walk backwards. That's going to benefit you not at all. That's going to lead to despair and more hopelessness. We don't want that. That's not going to help anything. No, as we walk forward into the future, it's light and it's bright, and follow that feeling of freedom. That energetic feeling is telling you something. If you are in a situation and your energy is drained and you feel depleted, your energy is speaking to you. Your body is speaking to you, and it is telling you, stop thinking about the thing. Switch it. You got to think about something else. And so do it. Listen to it and follow that energetic guidance that you are receiving. Because the kingdom of heaven is within, baby, and it's beautiful and it's wonderful. But to get to that place, to step out of hopelessness or that feeling and get into that place of light, it takes effort. It takes actual work. You got to cleanse your mind of all those things, and it is an active thing that you do all day long. But you do it because you want to do it, because you know that there's freedom that is there, and so follow that feeling of freedom. I know, for myself, like, let's say that I've gone somewhere and I've been in really good company, and I just feel so elated. I feel like myself. There's these miracles happening. It's like, expect miracles because they're happening, like huge, miraculous. How is that possible? It's not possible. It's a miracle, that kind of thing. And then when you put yourself into a different environment, I'm just speaking about myself here, all of a sudden you're like, why did that good feeling go away? Why has this not happened? Why are these things not happening here? So listen to the energies that are in your environment. They are guiding you. They are showing you. They are saying, hey, go this way. Hey, go that way. Hey, go over here. And as you go with the flow should be easy, right? When you're going down a river and you're floating down the river, it's just an easy flow. Sometimes it's a little slow. Sometimes you get caught up on something for a little bit, but eventually you get going back down the stream again. But if you're trying to swim against the current, you will be drained. You will be energetically exhausted. And it is because you are not going with the flow. Now, I know saying, oh, you're not going with the flow. When you're not going with the flow, it's like, well, I don't know how to go with the flow. All I will say is, do not resist life. When you don't want to wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. All those I don't wannas, that's resisting life. Then what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Go and do that. Okay, well, this kind of sounds fun to me. Then go and do that thing, because this means that you are living your life. And as you do that thing that you want to do, it's going to lead to more things that you want to do, because you're going to be putting out the feeling of, I want this, I want this, I want this. And you'll be going with the flow of I want, rather than I don't want to do that. You will have stopped resisting life, and you will now be going with the flow of life, and things will be much easier for you. They will feel much better. Now, I'm not saying that there's not going to be any hurdles or roadblocks that pop up, because we've set things up in the past, and those things will come back to us in the future. And when they come back, we can then now laugh about it. If something, trying comes up, we can laugh and, I know 2 years ago I said that this was going to be difficult when this happened, and here we go, look what I've done. And then you can recognize even more for yourself that it is you that is in control, that it is your creative, intelligent, and beautiful mind that controls all the things, the way that you feel, your life, the plans, all the stuff. It's all the things. And then it all comes from your mind, and it can, rest assured, make you feel even better, because then you will know even more, okay, well, right now in this moment I need to put out the happiness and the joy and the good, because that's what I want in my life. And then you can follow that. And if you go from I don't want to I want, and just do what it is that you want, let's say that you're in a job that you don't want, well, how are you going to change that? By putting out more of I want this, I want this. So when you get off work, what are you going to do? Go and find something that you want to do. And I'm not saying sit there and do nothing because you're so tired because your day was exhausting. No, push past it. Do what it is that you want. And pretty soon you'll get some creative ideas. You will get inspired. You will start doing things. And then work won't be so hard. And you'll start to enjoy it more. And you'll get an opportunity that'll be like, oh, I want that job. And then you'll get it. There will be things that shift and change in your life. But if you are in a vibration of lack or resistance to life, you will get more lack and you will get more things to resist. Whereas if you are in the frequency, the vibration of I want, I love, you will get more things to want and you will get more things to love. So this is what I have for you guys here today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to all of my loyal people who show up every day. You guys are amazing and wonderful. Thanks for all your likes and comments and subscribes. You guys are just amazing. If you have not read the Christ Letters or listened to it yet, totally free. You can read it online for free. You can listen to it on YouTube for free. Thanks, YouTube. You're amazing and the best. Anyways, I highly recommend checking it out because that is what led to all the knowledge that I give to you guys. So, love you guys so much. Take care, my darlings. I will see you next time.